Alright, so this is coming in a little late as I know the game was yesterday, but I had some stuff that I did tend to last night. But while I missed most of the Bulls' second game at Summer League against the Kings, I was able to catch their game last night against the Pacers, which was by far and away their best game, their first win at Summer League, which I'll be honest, based on how the first two games went, I wasn't entirely sure they were actually going to win a game at Summer League because the squad that they put together just doesn't really fit well, despite having decent talent. But regardless, as I always say, when it comes to Summer League, I'm not so much focused on the wins and the losses. I'm not even focused on some of the players on the roster who I know aren't going to be getting roster spots. I'm always focused on what I'm seeing from the guys who are going to be on the full-time roster, seeing their progression from game to game, and how they're faring against the likes of Summer League talent. And in this instance, I'm obviously focused on what I'm seeing from Buzelis and Essengue. The Bulls' future, really. Are they separating themselves from the pack? Is it clear they are better, the best players that are just too good to play in this league? And for me, walking away from that game, that was the type of performance you want to see from both of those guys, especially after the rough start to that first game. Even from Buzelis, who you would expect as a second-team all-rookie player for him to come out and just wipe the floor with the competition and demonstrate that he clearly does not belong here. And then, of course, for Essengue, you had a lot of Bulls fans overreacting after that first game about how, hey, he's clearly a bust, isn't built for the NBA, is just going to be playing in the G League, which I still maintain this kid is not going to be ready to compete for this upcoming season. He is only 18 after all, and will likely spend a fair amount of time in games for the Windy City Bulls. But after seeing him the last two games, which his last game was cut short a bit due to injury, but you're seeing he has the tools, he has the talent, and the upside to be a promising prospect. And I mentioned in my last video, the biggest thing I want to see from Essengue for the rest of Summer League is progression from game to game, just getting a little bit better, a little more comfortable, a little more aggressive with every passing game. And he has since done that, and was especially the case in this game against the Pacers. I mean, what I like seeing from Essengue in this game last night, as well as the game against the Kings, is his level of activity. And what I mean by that is how active he is on both ends of the floor. His awareness on the defensive end and the ability to recover even after getting beat off the dribble to still reject shots at the rim is very impressive. That's a great thing both him and Buzelis have in using their length to deter shots, but also in getting in the passing lanes on the perimeter. But then on the offensive end, we saw more of him using his speed and mobility to get downhill, finish at the rim, but also show off some of his mid-range game, even his three-point shooting, which was one of the biggest question marks of his game coming into the draft, was his shooting in general. And then we didn't see it as much in this game against the Pacers, but more so in the previous one against the Kings. But he's great at getting to the free throw line. He has a knack for forcing the issue and creating contact to get his defender to bite. Everyone liked to talk about his free throw rate as being one of the bigger positives of his game when he was playing overseas. If that can translate at the NBA level, where he's able to get inside and get to the foul line even despite his skinny frame, that's a big benefit to the Bulls, who ranked 29th in the league last year in free throw attempts and 29th in free throw rate. As good as the Bulls were in improving their overall pace and shot profile on offense last year, they lost a lot in being able to generate easy points by getting to the line, obviously losing a lot of that with DeMar DeRozan going to the Kings. But for Essengue, 21 points on 50% shooting, 7 for 14, 3 for 8 from deep, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He was also just much more controlled in this game in limiting his fouls and being better with his on-ball defense. Again, still a lot of development that's needed from this kid, but you can see the potential there. You can see that he has the tools, obviously the athleticism, and also the IQ and maturity, even for his young age, to be a great player in this league. He did get posterized pretty bad in this game. I'm sure most of you saw it by now in that photo that's kind of going viral of him getting dunked on by Johnny Furphy, which he just threw it down on him with authority. And some photographer got a shot of Essengue looking up like he had just seen a ghost. But hey, everyone gets posterized at some point in their career. I guess better for it to happen in Summer League than it to be in a real game. And then for Buzelis, we were all kind of waiting for Modest to show us that he's too good for Summer League, which we didn't see in that first game. And it was believed that Modest would likely only play in one game and be done with Summer League, but we were like, nah, there is no way he's ending his Summer League campaign like that after a performance in that first game. He's got to have a dominant game that shows why he shouldn't even be here in the first place. Kind of like when we saw Patrick Williams play in Summer League after his rookie season, and he balled out, if you can believe that. And this was the game where Modest showed us that. Yeah, he's above these guys. He had a few turnovers, fouled a bit on some aggressive defensive plays in the beginning, which I don't mind. I like the aggression, but yeah, he really took control of this game by being the primary ball handler when Yuki wasn't playing, who I'll get to in a sec, but was handling the ball well, was getting inside, wasn't settling for threes, using that athleticism to get to the bucket and finish for and-ones. Modest got to the free throw line 13 times in this game. Again, need to see more of that based on the lack of free throw attempts from the Bulls this past season, but 28 points for Modest, 8 for 14 shooting, 10 for 13 from the line, 5 rebounds, a steal in the block. He was getting after on both ends, which we know he doesn't have to do. Like, he doesn't have to be putting in this kind of effort in Summer League. He's not fighting for a roster spot or fighting for minutes for that matter. He knows where he stands on this roster, but he gives it his all regardless, and that's what I love about this guy. Also, did you guys catch Modest's post-game press comments talking about how the team owes it to the fans to bring them a championship, plain and simple? Look, I love that mentality. I love the recognition and the hunger to win. It's why I love this kid so much. And then other notable performances in this game. Yuki Kawamura, look, we know he's not going to get a roster spot, not just with the Bulls, but he's probably not going to get a roster spot in any NBA team, a full-time roster spot that is, maybe a two-way deal. But he's pretty damn good, man. Like, despite his size, he makes up for it with his playmaking, his court vision, and hustle on the court. He ended up with 10 assists in this game to go along with 15 points and 3 steals. I actually think he's super fun to watch and looking forward to seeing him continue this play for the remaining games on the Summer League roster. And then Ulbrich, Bulls' second round pick, he was decent. Started off the game shaky where he committed some bad turnovers and had some sloppy footwork in the paint, but he crashed the boards, had some nice dunks, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Was a solid game for the rookie. Curious to see how he progresses further in these next games, especially with more opportunities with Modest Buzelis being out. And yes, the Bulls and Modest confirmed that he's done for Summer League, but we'll still get to see Essengue and whether he can build on the success from what we saw last night. But next game is on Wednesday against the Bucks. Let me know what you guys thought of this game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.